Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. I'm returning to the Xbox Zone this week to take a look at the latest episodic adventure from DontNod, the acclaimed developers of Life is Strange. Now, I have reviewed the first episode of Life is Strange here on RMGB TV, and I'm afraid to say I didn't really enjoy it. My time with Tell Me Why was a lot more pleasant though, and it does make me want to go back and give Life is Strange another chance. I might have grown to appreciate it more if I had played beyond episode 1. That's another video for some time in the future though. For now, I'm focusing on Tell Me Why, which was released just over a month ago. The story of the game focuses on two twins in their late teens who have been separated for a decade due to a sad event which resulted in the death of their mother. Tyler has been living in a centre for troubled youths, and Allison has been living with the town sheriff after he adopted her following their mother's death. Seemingly, their mum couldn't cope with the discovery that one of her two daughters wanted to be a boy and tried to kill her. In self-defence, Tyler stabbed her. She then fell off the pier and drowned. As the game opens, the two siblings are due to be reunited so that they can go through their mother's belongings at their old family home in Alaska before selling it and finally moving on with their lives. Not long after meeting up, the twins discover they have a couple of strange abilities. They can speak to each other telepathically, and they can recall old memories in crystal clarity right before them. After digging through the old house and viewing some of these memories, they begin to realise that there may be more to the terrible events of their past than they realise. Tyler wants to dig deeper and learn the whole truth, no matter how painful it may prove to be, whereas Allison is keen to leave the past where it is and make a new start as soon as possible. At key points in the game, you can decide to either go with Tyler or Allison's version of events. One of these choices will strengthen the bond between them and the other will weaken it. The final outcome of the story will depend on whether you decide to keep the twins together or uncover the whole truth. Tell Me Why is a very slow-paced game which definitely won't appeal to all the twitchy gamers out there who just want wall-to-wall action from their video games. More patient players who thoroughly explore every location and take the time to work out what's going on will find the experience rewarding though. Every so often there is a puzzle or a character that needs to be questioned in just the right way to get them to confess what they know, and you are usually rewarded with an achievement if you manage to solve them. With the puzzles, the answer usually lies within the Book of Goblins, an old handmade storybook that the kids and their mother created together. The answers usually aren't too hard to find, as long as you're prepared to do a fair amount of reading. Visually, Tell Me Why looks great, especially in 4K. The backdrop of Alaska is stunningly beautiful, and though there are only a handful of locations you will visit throughout the course of the game, each one packs a lot of detail. The voice work is equally solid, with convincing line reads from all of the actors and genuine emotion put into their performances. If any of the cast have done other voice acting roles, then I certainly aren't familiar with them. The likes of Nolan North and Jennifer Hale are great, but it is nice to have some new talent to come along as well. Each episode of Tell Me Why will take you approximately 3 hours to complete, and there are 3 of them, so you're looking at 9 hours total, give or take. I love the fact that all 3 episodes dropped on a weekly schedule. It meant that I could look forward to experiencing the next part of the story the following weekend. In the past with this sort of game there has been quite a wait between episodes. I hope DontNod stick to this approach of getting the whole thing finished and then releasing them close together for future releases. The 3 episodes were also released straight into Game Pass on day 1, which is fantastic. I doubt I would have played the game otherwise, and I'm glad I did. Tell Me Why does deal with some tough subjects, such as interfamily violence, mental illness, and the challenges that transgender youngsters face. There is a disclaimer when the game first starts that warn you of this fact, and that the developers sought the advice of professionals so that they could get these details right. I must confess, I went in to Tell Me Why with little notion of what the story was going to be about, and I was a bit put off by this opening message because I generally like my video games to remain fun escapism. I'm glad I stuck with the game though, because though it does ask some tough questions, it does still manage to remain enjoyable at the same time and offers a compelling mystery that draws you through to the end. Ultimately, I'm going to give Tell Me Why a score of 8 out of 10. If you already have Game Pass and you think the game sounds interesting, then you should definitely just give it a try, you have nothing to lose. If you just want to blow stuff up or the themes sound too heavy for you, you might want to skip this one. I, for one, are glad that the episodic adventures are still getting made though, after the closure of Telltale Games, and I look forward to what DontNod makes in this genre next. That brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll be back with something else very soon. In the meantime, take care. Thank you.